Kani kadai ka Batisi TV, bat pidang pet ya ka kubor baman kasni, belawan rasha pi da ka rupa, ringkat bat ka orange Nissan, lom sopo near Fire Brigade Shillong.
New Nissan Kicks. Bookings open now.
Ka Dorbar Synrai jong Ïingdorbar Thawaiñ, ka bala poino syaka pukut haka khatlai trek unai luar arjar khat kendai, Hapdeng ki Jingïatai ba ki Jingïatai, ya ki babun ki mat ki bayadei bat ki tanat trekam ba per jong ka sarga Jylla. Hak ning sikut jong Dorbar Synrai hai kenta kili jingkili ki MLA jong ka sen Kongres ki basyong hakaliang persya ki lawan rai ki mat yatai bat ki labu uru bun tili ki jingkili hak mat ki menteri jong ka sarga Jylla.
Deputy Speaker, sir, thank you for the reply from the Honorable Chief Minister, but I'm not satisfied with his with your reply. So I may further supplement. Like, how come the inquiry conducted without removing this very alleged person from his chair or position or office? How can it be a fair inquiry?
So the inquiry was conducted by the managing director. So therefore, the MD has conducted the inquiry at a very independent level. So therefore, it was very much a fair inquiry, sir.
Deputy Speaker, sir, the allegation after allegation against this very person, like we have seen, based on many allegations as seen in the print, electronics and social media, and my complaint with an official letter submitted to the humble Chief Minister on the 8th February 2019 about the alleged misconduct and the one-man show of the Superintendent Engineer of Meghalaya Tourism Development Corporation and a member of the Assistant Accountant MTDC, late Mrs. Yobiang Hun Sahar, for which
Honorable Member, please directly come to your question.
Can hear you, sir.
Please ask your question directly. No, instead of going round and round, you just come to the point.
Well, I'm going the same process as what the coal subject has been taken up that day, sir. So myself, I'm totally disagree with this way of conducting the inquiry, because this superintendent engineer has been made many allegations against him. So I wonder why, because the fact that no board meeting was convened when Kong Sakhar was murdered, but an emergent board meeting was called and even the superintendent of police was asked to attend. Just to protect the interests of this person shows that the MTDC is under his control. Without any doubt, directly or indirectly, this very board meeting has raised fear amongst the employees of MTDC to come forward and speak out about all the misdeed that are happening there. So I want a clear replies from the Honorable Chief Minister.
Sir, what is the question, sir?
Yes, what is your question? You put a question, please.
So you see the fact that no board meeting was convened when Kong Sakhar was murdered, but an emergent board meeting was called and even the superintendent of police was asked to attend. Just to protect the interests of this person shows that the MTDC is under his control. Without any doubt, directly or indirectly, this very board meeting has raised fear among the employees of MTDC to come forward and speak out about all the misdeeds that are happening there.
So what do you want to ask?
Sir, Honorable Member has of course raised this issue. Of course, I'm still confused about what exactly the question is. Okay. But sir, the basic thing, if number one, sir, regarding the death of one of the employees, sir, is regarding that particular issue, so the investigation is going on. The police is investigating in this. Sir, whether a board meeting is held or not held regarding that issue, nobody can influence an inquiry being done by the police, sir. So that is number one, sir. Number two, board meetings have been held very, very regularly. And in fact, at that point in time when the board meeting was held, it was held to condone the death of the person, the specific person mentioned. So therefore, sir, this is what the scenario is. I'm still, as I said, confused about what he wants to know. But the point is that the investigation is on, police investigation is on regarding the death of that particular individual, sir.
Then in that case, may I know from the Chief Minister, what are the findings of this inquiry?
So the inquiry is still going on, so police is inquiring into it, sir. I am not privy to what the findings of the inquiry is, sir.
You must appear in answer number B. Sir, the report has been submitted to the government.
Okay, I thought he was talking about the police inquiry, sir. So the inquiry, of course, report, just to come back to the question, is that the honorable member had come and met me and given his letter and a complaint regarding MTDC on the 31st of January 2019. Sir, by 15th of February, which is 2 weeks from the day he was submitted the letter to me, I wrote a note, an order to the Managing Director of MTDC to immediately examine the representation being given by the honorable member from Shiedelbert Nongrum, MLA from North Shillong. And based on that, so the inquiry was conducted. And the inquiry report, in fact, has been submitted. So it's a seven-page inquiry report. And so I don't know if member would like me to read it, or if you want maybe specific points you can ask regarding that inquiry. But I think it will be too long for me to read the whole thing, sir.
Okay, since I got the clarification from the Honorable Chief Minister.
This will be your last supplementary question.
Thank you so much, sir, for reminding me. I may repeat the same. How come the inquiry conducted without removing this very person, which allegation after allegation, right from before till my personal representation has been submitted to you?
Sir, as I said, the allegations that were made, so the report has been submitted, and it has been found that there are no, there's nothing concrete in the particular allegations that have been made, and all the allegations that have been made out here, so every detail has been given, and this was an independent inquiry that was done by the Managing Director himself, sir. So therefore, I don't see any reason why there's anything to, mention by the honourable member that why the individual was not removed. Because as I said, sir, no particular facts were to be found to be substantiated for any kind of action, sir.
So we come to question number.
Excuse me, sir.
You have because you see, any member is not allowed to ask to see more than 5 supplementary questions. So
just one minute, sir. Just one minute.
I cannot. No.
Please, sir. Just 1 minute.
So we come to
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir.
Yeah, you can.
So now I know from Honorable Chief Minister, regarding with this case, we could understand that there's 2 inquiry. Inquiry number 1, that is direct constituted by the Department of MTDC, headed by Director, is complete. And the second police investigation is now police investigation or inquiry is going on. So may I know from Honorable Chief Minister, because according to the report of MTDC, I could understand from distance that the person is not involved, something like that. So now, after the report submitted by the police regarding the same official, if it found is guilty, whether the department remove him or not.
Sir, I think there has been a slight misunderstanding. And I think the question, when of course was asked by the main questioner, the slight confusion came in. So the initial inquiry that we have conducted as a managing, on behalf of the managing director, by the managing director, was regarding the functioning of MTDC. There were allegations made regarding certain individual in different works or different responsibilities, different situations, different cases. That was the inquiry conducted by MTDC and managing director. And as we said, we did not find any substantial evidence here to take any kind of action against the individual. The second part, which was mentioned by the honorable member from North Shillong, was regarding a murder case. And that is a different inquiry altogether. And that is, since it's a murder case, that is being investigated by the police.
That's why I'm very much confused regarding with this question and also the reply. I thought that the honourable member, even the chief minister, reply for the functioning of the MTDC. Why he must reply? Why is reply given the reply of the chief minister given about the prospect of MTDC? In the honourable member asking about the murder, myself also got confused regarding with this. Exactly. So regarding with one man show. Let me go straight into the, since all the tables on the floor house, it is the right of our members to participate. So if you go to number one, may I know from Honorable Chief Minister, who is that one-man show running the MTDC here? Because according to here, sir.
This is an allegation. As I said, a letter was sent to me by Honorable Member from North Shillong, Shri Edelbert Nongrum. And in his letter dated 31st January 2019, he had allegations saying that there was one subject was one-man show and utter mismanagement in the affairs of MTDC. And in that letter, so I'm just trying to see the exact name. Yes, sir. So in that letter, I think no specific name was mentioned, but it was against the superintendent engineer, sir.
So may I know the name of superintendent engineer, sir?
So his full name is no inquiry. So it just says superintendent engineer, but I don't know the full name of the person. Sir, Mr. Shri M.U. Ahmed, sir. M.U. Ahmed.
So if that, since honorable member have already been lodged complaint of this SE, may I request the honorable Chief Minister to consider, examine, if possible, because you understand, sir, when honorable members brought anything in the house, it's not personal. It is for interest of the committee and also the state as a whole. May I request, if possible, to remove him from the chair?
Sir, number one, sir, it is the board of the MTDC that takes the decision. So therefore, it's not something that we from the government indirect. Number two, sir, I think it is not correct for anybody to simply say that based on allegations a person is removed, sir. There has to be some substantial evidence that has to be there that shows that some wrongdoings were there. And in order to find that out, as I said, an independent inquiry by the managing director was done, and all the allegations that were mentioned in the letter that was submitted to me by the managing director, all details one by one the allegations were looked into, and as I mentioned, so there was no substantial evidence that was found against a particular individual. Therefore, sir, I don't think it will be correct for the board also to simply take a decision to remove the person without any evidence, sir. And as I said, more importantly, it is up to the board, sir, to decide.
Last question, sir. So may I request to you, sir, it is the fact that what the Chief Minister said that we have to have evidence. May I request to you, sir, if the honourable member who brought the allegation along with the evidence, so that we also will support, even the government will support, that it's high time that to take action about the particular person that members have mentioned, sir.
So that is, I think, directed to the honourable member who brought the questions.
Excuse me, sir, I have already submitted to the Honourable Chief Minister every detail. That's why I have a right to ask for a fair inquiry. This is not a fair inquiry. I don't want that the government should involve in corruption or in any such type of allegation.
Sir, I think we're just going around the same thing, sir. My point is that the inquiry has been made, and as I said, this has been done by the Managing Director, and the whole report is here, sir. So point by point, the reply has been given, and the report is available with us.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, we understand that this scheme, this Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana, is very helpful to the farmer in providing financial support to farmers suffering crop loss or damaging arise due to unforeseen event. I want to know from the Honorable Minister in charge Agriculture and Farmer Welfare, the percentage, total percentage of farmer insured under this scheme in the current financial year 2019-20.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, 2018, the area insured of farmers is 0.677, and the loan is 693 numbers, and the number of farmer benefit not yet finalized, sir.
So we understand by the percentage laid down, it is very less. Since this is a very important scheme to help the farmer, I would urge the department, I would urge the government to make a wide publicity so that our farmer, they will know about the benefit that they will receive from this scheme, and every farmer will know they have to guide through the department. So I would urge the department to go ahead, and in future we will have a larger percentage of farmer will insure under this scheme. Thank you, sir.
Deputy Speaker, sir, may I know from the Honorable Chief Minister some of the actionable points what is being implemented at this stage?
It's a very exhaustive list. Of course, it will not be possible for me to go through everything, and it will be not even doing justice to the entire issue if I just mention some of them also. So I'm quite caught in between. But so there are a lot of points that have been mentioned out here, in fact, in the tax agreement. And just to give you some example of things that have been mentioned out here. So there were some issues about creation of subdivisions in Garo Hills area, and that was section 2.4. And so as you're aware, that was done, and some were created. Two in fact subdivisions were created at that point. So even the entire action to include the Garo language, sir, in the 8th schedule, that also, in fact, as you're aware, that has been moved. Resolution was passed, and it has been sent to Government of India. At the same time, sir, there were also requirements and demand for ensuring that the professionals of 3.1 relating to officers and staff in the district council in GHDC, and as you're aware, sir, based on the letter sent by the CEM, an MCS officer has been placed there to ensure that the functioning of the Garo Hills Autonomous District Council improves. So like that, so there's so many points. I think, sir, if maybe the honorable member could just specifically ask me regarding a particular issue, it would be easier to answer back, sir. Otherwise, I'll have to go through the whole thing, so it's about 10 pages. So I think that would be a better way. So if you can ask me specifically, I can answer specific points, sir.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. since there may be many points, it will be exhaustive, so I would request the Chief Minister to place the information on the table of the House. Sir, why I raise this question is, one of the points that has been there in the agreement is affecting the number of seats in the 3 autonomous district councils in the state, raising the number of seats in the autonomous district councils. We in the governments, we are yet to have election to autonomous district councils, which is, as if conducted the election, it will be in the year 2021, next year, October. So, whether that point is or in the process of implementation.
Sir, as you are aware that the amendment to the 6th schedule has already been placed in the Rajya Sabha, and I think there was a question on this yesterday or 2 days back, and in that, in fact, a lot of deliberation took place, and the proposal to increase the number of seats has been included in that particular amendment, and so yes, the answer to that question is yes, sir.
So we come to
process is on, I'm sorry. Yes means the process has started. It's not done yet, but the process has started.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, it's very unfortunate that this is the stand of the government on such a pertinent issue. I would like to ask the Honorable Minister in charge. The autonomous district councils were constituted under the provision under the 6th schedule to the Constitution of India, with executive, legislative, judicial powers under Article 2442 of the Constitution of India, which provides that the provisions of the 6th schedule shall apply for the administration of the tribal areas in the state of Meghalaya. Is that true?
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the question is asked regarding the Forest Act exemption. The move of KHSDC to seek Forest Act exemption dated a long time, dated 28 August 2019.
So, sir, is the statement that I made correct or incorrect? Being the Forest Minister, some idea should be there in your mind. Is it correct or incorrect, sir?
You see, I cannot read the mind of KHSDC what they want as of now, because this is the question. So I have written to this council, and this council, the reply after we sent this reply to the assembly, the reply from this council came. Let me read that portion. With reference to the question, this is a note from this council, KHSDC. With reference to the question noted above, I am directed to bring to your kind information that the news item which appeared in the Shillong Time dated 28 August 2019 pertaining to the proposed move of the KHADC to seek Forest Act exemption is purely the view of the committee constituted by the District Committee for the purpose comprising of the members along with the term of reference as per copy enclosed. The said committee has up till date not submitted any report which the Executive Committee is awaiting its view and suggestion for decision and consideration. Since they themselves have not submitted a report, how can I answer? It is too premature for me to answer regarding this.
Is, therefore, Deputy Speaker, sir, Section 28(4) of the proposed Indian Forest Amendment Act 2019 in line with the provisions of the Constitution and the 6th schedule?
For that, I have a required notice.
Is the government of Meghalaya therefore aware that amendment has already been proposed for this particular act?
Consultation for amending of the Indian Forest Act 1997 is going on. There is no proposal as yet to amend it, only consultative with the stakeholder.
So therefore, may I ask the mind of the government of Meghalaya, will it propose for the omission by the insertion of an exception or a clause or proviso at Section 1 of the proposed amendment of the areas falling within the tribal areas of the state of Meghalaya in terms of Article 2442 then?
As I said before, it is too premature for me to come into conclusion without having the draft of the amendment itself, since it's only a consultative stage.
So, sir, am I made to understand, therefore, that the government of Meghalaya has not seriously participated in this consultation initiated by the government of India?
The Forest Department of Government of Meghalaya has held a meeting with the stakeholder to seek their view. That's why I'm telling that it's a consultative stage.
So at this consultative stage, was there any mention made of Section 28.4 of the proposed Forest Amendment Act 2019?
I have told before that I required notice for that, so I required notice.
Sir, under the pretext of requiring notice, therefore, may I request the Department of Forest, through your kind officer, to take note of these important implications of the proposed Indian Forest Amendment Act 2019, sir.
Thank you.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, from the reply to 1051, can I inform that the entire interstate boundary is under dispute?
So there are 12 locations of differences, which we all know. So these are the 12 areas are matter of dispute, sir.
So then, sir, why is it that the reinforcement of border pillars in the other areas of non-dispute is not being taken up by the government, sir, to ensure the reinforcement of the pillars?
So as you're aware, this is a sensitive topic, and obviously for us to move forward in this, there has to be a proper discussion with both the states. And hence, therefore, sir, this exercise has not been conducted till we are able to resolve the issues, the pending issues, sir.
Honorable Deputy Speaker, sir, if it had been only for the disputed area, I would totally agree with the Honorable CM. However, sir, I'm also talking of the entire stretch of the interstate boundary where there is also no dispute. Recently, sir, there has been an incident in Balakhawa, Rimoy district, where the entire village falls under the state of Meghalaya. However, there has been an encouragement from the Assam side, even in non-disputed areas. So therefore, sir, this is a case of concern. And similar cases also may arise in future because we have not strengthened our boundary pillars even in areas of non-dispute. So I will request the government today, sir, to kindly expedite the matter of reviewing the interstate boundary pillars in the non-disputed areas so that such cases do not affect the citizens of the state, sir.
Sir, there is no question of any kind of encroachment in the non-disputed areas. So therefore, obviously, only the disputed areas are only ones that are there. But apart from that, there is no question of any dispute in the other areas, sir.
Sir, the incident in Balakhawa is a result of this particular encroachment from the Assam side in the non-disputed areas, which is clearly because the demarcation is not proper. That's why people have even ransacked the house of one local resident in that particular area. So this is just maybe a starting, sir. So therefore, if we don't strengthen our demarcation along the non-disputed areas, problems may arise again, sir. So I would request the Honorable Chief Minister to kindly take note of this.
So the particular location which has been mentioned, I think the Honorable Member will also be aware that this was mainly for a construction of one PMGSY road, sir. And in that situation, the NOCs are required from both sides because it is at an interstate border, sir. And as government, sir, we are very clear and we are sticking to our point that only the 12 areas are there which are of dispute, and in no other areas, no encroachment has been done. But the point of the member, which is mentioning that we have to keep a watch, and this point has been noted, sir.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, may I know from Honorable Chief Minister whether he feel necessary or not meant to implement the NRC in the state, sir?
So can you just repeat the question, sir?
Sir, may I know from Honorable Chief Minister whether he feel necessary or not to implement the NRC in the state of Meghalaya, sir?
Sir, I think it's not a question of what I feel and don't feel. As I said, sir, there are certain constitutional provisions that are there, and certain, subjects that are in central lists. Sir. So therefore, it is something that is in the subject of the central government, sir.
Sir, may I know from Honorable Chief Minister, because reply is only here that mentioned it is with the union, it is a union list. I'm talking about that whether necessary or not. Main important, sir, we understand now that if the government feel necessary, cabinet as a whole will take a decision and also take this matter with the central government and demand from the government, like other have been demand, that if even the state of Meghalaya, we feel that NRC should be implemented. So that is my question. I also to request Honorable Chief Minister, if we feel necessary, take a decision and discuss with the central government regarding this issue, sir.
Sir, as I mentioned earlier, it's a subject of the central government. So, but whatever the suggestions have been given, sir, I have noted this question. Point, sir.
Mr. Deputy Speaker, I would like to know from the Honorable Chief Minister whether the government is ready to implement the National Register Certificate. What is this certificate, sir?
Register certificate? Yes, sir. In fact, I think there has been a misprint. It's the National Register of Citizens.
Yes.
So therefore, is this now going to be implicated?
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, may I request the Honourable Minister in charge of Soil and Water Conservation Department, as well as Minister in charge of other departments, that while preparation of schemes for different constituency, that they consult local MLA in doing that, sir.
Mr. Speaker, the suggestion made by the member is points noted.
Thank you, sir. I don't have any more questions.
So one question, sir, regarding with this question, sir. So the list is very long, and also we have got enough of many papers. Also, we cannot find where this is, because Minister already mentioned that list of scheme have been table on the floor house, sir. May I know from Honorable Minister, list of the total project that the scheme have been sanctioned from RIDF in the year 2018-19, 2019-20, that is a scheme getting from the central government, sir, that what I've already mentioned for the district-wise, sir.
Mr. Speaker, I mean, the reply is already laid on the table of the House. The Honourable may have a look on that. He'll be clearly understand.
So if that will be happen, sir, if this the Minister of Audit and Stockman, that it should be placed separately in different matters. See now how many papers, how we'll find, sir? Only the total cost of the project of 2018-19, 19-20 is very expensive, Minister. Will it be a problem? Just say that 2,000 crore sanction for this project, RIDF, sir. Only one word, sir.
Mr. Speaker, since Honourable is interested to know the amount, so I'll provide to you personally.